what you have more than a system of wires and circuits. It can show feelings only to the extent of
cases, you know, we're going to see dollar debasement and all the
Hey guys, welcome back to Habitual Crypto. My name's Dan, and here on the channel we like to make good habits in trading. So if you like trading cryptocurrencies and finding out the best strategies to do so, please click that subscribe and follow button and give this video a like. Today we're going to be talking about Bitcoin. We'll go over the Bitcoin chart, Ethereum chart, and Bitcoin dominance. I have one quick video clip I want to show you guys. Then we'll get into charting out any altcoins you guys are interested in. And I stream every day from every Monday through Thursday, 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. So with that, let's jump right in. What we're looking at here, guys, is the Bitcoin weekly chart. I just wanted to take a big step back, which I like to do most days, just to kind of give you a better sense of the overall picture we're looking at here. The start of the Bitcoin rally really was back at the end of October, and as you can see, it's been very, very good for Bitcoin. And what we're seeing here on the weekly, you know, when you kind of go in closer, look at the hourly and the 15-minute chart, things might look a little bit more negative, but when you look at the overall picture here, you know, if anything, Bitcoin may just have been in consolidation for the past few months. It may be headed down to high 40s at the lowest, in my opinion. And then, you know, or we may just keep moving sideways for a little bit until we get that next pop up. I've talked about around 75,000, I think might be a temporary top for Bitcoin. But then again, this 65,000 might have been that. And now we might just be in a consolidation period for maybe a week, maybe a month, maybe 2 months before we blast off again to much higher highs, in my opinion. So if we do go in on the daily here, I want to show you just kind of where, you know, where I'm getting the kind of drop down from. If we go, you know, on the daily about here, you know, if this is the main trend line we don't really want to lose. In my opinion, we did get close, but we still have, you know, even like 50,000, it's going to have very strong support there. You know, if we wick down to like 48, 49, you know, that wouldn't be too crazy. But in the macro picture, anything higher than basically 43, this wick here would be a higher low, if we're looking at basically three big stages here, three big ups and downs. So right at this moment, I think, you know, people are entering this space like crazy now. You know, all the meme coins with Dogecoin and now all these you know, crazy coins that are basically just Ponzi schemes that everyone knows is a Ponzi scheme. Maybe not everybody, but they don't care. They're willing to take their chances. We'll get more into that when we get to the altcoins. But yeah, I think, you know, the interest in crypto in general, and really Bitcoin being one of the first cryptos most people buy, I think this dip might have been a good just refresh for us. So we'll see, but we will go in on like the 15-minute chart here, and we have been in this range here. But you know, we had our big dip here, and now we've had a couple a double bottom here around the 50 3,300 mark. And now we're kind of just tightening up here, making lower highs but higher lows as well. So, we'll see if we stay in this range. But if I had to bet, I think we'll probably end up breaking up out of this, even if it's not a major move up. I think we are going to continue the uptrend a little bit. So we'll see what happens. I don't want to just put the optimistic view on you guys. There is a chance we drop further. But again, I don't believe this was the top and we're now entering a bear market. That is not the case whatsoever, in my opinion. If anything, it's just a cool down phase, and investors are buying up these dips. So, we don't know how much money is waiting at certain points along the lines to put in buys. And, after getting to 65,000, I'm sure a lot of investors kind of change their trades to, yeah, I had a big trade at 40,000, 45,000. Now I'll move that up. If it hits 50 again, I'll buy there because we got higher in the past, month. So we'll see what happens with Bitcoin. But so far, Bitcoin just kind of staying sideways. And with Bitcoin staying sideways, Ethereum has been running, and it's been running pretty hard on Bitcoin as well. I'll go to the 4-hour chart here, just to kind of give us a sense here of what we're dealing with. We did have this ascending triangle here that we drew a pattern for. I took away the drawing, but we did have our target point at 25.50. If you go back and watch the videos on our stream, and we hit that target to the dollar. So that was pretty cool before going down here. But now Bitcoin or Ethereum recovering way better than Bitcoin. And breaking through these trend lines. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes down and makes support on this trend line, or it is moving very fast compared to Bitcoin, and I am very bullish on Ethereum still. Where Bitcoin has had kind of these big moves and big drops, Ethereum has really kind of just chugged along this whole bull market, more stable. Not having such big moves up, but kind of recovering a lot better from the moves down. So Ethereum moving today, and I am bullish on Ethereum in the short and long term. And if we look at the Bitcoin Ethereum chart, I'm just as bullish on this chart. Let me go back here. So we've been in an uptrend for quite a long time, and we'll draw this out for you guys, so you can see here on the daily. Kind of the channel I'm looking at here. As far as where I think our next resistance is going to be, possibly right around, if we were to go up there today, the 0.48, obviously getting past the point, our last high here of 0.46 is going to be, we probably will find some resistance there. But if we are able to get above that, I think we're going to, continue this. And if we are able to break this trend line, we see the basically 0.5 support and resistance from the 2017 mark. So we'll see what happens there, but I think this uptrend for Ethereum is going to continue here against Bitcoin. So I am more bullish on Ethereum than Bitcoin at the moment. And a lot of the alts are moving because of that. And we've had this chart on Bitcoin dominance. I've been talking about this for a very long time. Since around here back in January, I've been talking about we had this support here which broke and we immediately came down, all the way down. Now we're at 51.54 Bitcoin dominance, and we've broken the 52 mark from historically in the past. That has held, and now we're on this one trend line. If I show you here, that goes back to basically about a year ago, and we've hit this twice, once here and then in the summer. And so we did wick below it today, and honestly, these supports have not been holding up that well. So if alts continue to move here, we could see Bitcoin dominance basically, and you can see we also have this historical point here where we're at as well. So a couple things kind of holding Bitcoin dominance right here. But again, if we fall past that, there is not many points of resistance or support for Bitcoin dominance down to about 40%. So we will keep an eye on these levels. I'm going to move this one down to where it did wick, right at 50%, which is where back in 2018 we found some resistance, and we had support at 50% in 2017 as well. So we will see what happens here. But yeah, the alts are moving because of this. So they are taking a lot of Bitcoin's market cap and going to work with it. So with that, that's kind of my take on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Bitcoin dominance right now. I have one video clip for you guys, just kind of another take a step back and think about the macro perspective of Bitcoin if you're feeling a little bearish on it. And again, it doesn't mean it can't go down some in the next month, but this year I am very confident we're going to be making much higher highs than we have already. So I just have this one video for you guys, not that one. Let me turn the music on for you, and we'll do that.
Circle back to crypto, which is kind of related to all of these questions, because there are people in it because their case is, we're going to see dollar debasement and all of these different things. And I think increasingly are people in it after hearing what you and Stan Druckenmiller said last fall and realizing the institutional interest is just going to keep growing and growing, and they just figure they'll ride that wave. Bitcoin is now up, I think, so when we spoke, I want to say it was around 14. So it's up about 4 times since we spoke in value. How much more upside is there? Even if you think there's upside, is there a lot more upside, do you think?
It's too bad we had video difficulties because I was going to have my Bitcoin hat on when you answered that. My baseball cap. Yeah, so I mean, Bitcoin, there are many, many different ways to look at Bitcoin. The simplest one is just supply and demand. You mentioned the mainstreaming of it and the institutional acceptance of it. And I think, supply is growing 2% a year. And demand is growing faster. That's all you really need to know, and that means it's going higher. So I think that it's going to have these kinds of volatile days. It was down 20% peak to trough over the weekend. But back in 2017, which was a bubble, I don't think this is a bubble at all in Bitcoin. I think this is now the beginning of a mainstreaming of it. But even back then during the bubble, it went down 20% on 5 different occasions. So volatility is with Bitcoin. Volatility is the price you pay for performance. And I think that if I think it's like digital gold. That's the first stop in it. And gold is about a $10 trillion asset category, and Bitcoin's $1 trillion, and it's infinitely divisible, or almost so. It's easily transportable and can be sent anywhere in the world if you have a smartphone. So it is a much better version as a store of value than gold. And then there's $15 trillion of negative yielding bonds out there. Why would you have that when you could own something that at least has the potential to go up?
Mm-hmm. And do all of these arguments then extend to other cryptos? A lot of people are now, I look at whether it's videos on social media or you name it. I mean, there's this constant interest in chasing the next big crypto performer, and a lot of them are up even more, I mean, way more in some cases than Bitcoin. Do you dabble in any of those, or do you just stick with Bitcoin?
No, I don't fiddle around with any of those others. There's a lot of good theoretical work done on lock-in and path dependence in technologies. Brian Arthur at Stanford is one of the leaders in that area. He's also written another book called The Nature of Technology. But effectively, when you have a technology like Bitcoin, what happens is that there's a explosion of new technologies that come along with it. So now we have about 8,000 or 10,000 of these ICOs. But eventually, those things lock in, and there's a dominant company, or a dominant entity, and that's why the antitrust people are going after Amazon and Google and Facebook, and because those companies are so dominant. And I think Bitcoin will be the dominant technology in this emerging asset category.
Yeah, guys. So just some interesting things I heard in there about, just the stat of supply and demand. Bitcoin supply is finite, which is one of the best assets. It makes it valuable. There will never be more than 21 million Bitcoin, and I believe there is about 2 to 3 million that have already been lost on hard drives or forgotten passwords. So yeah, there's a limited supply. It only goes up about 2% a year. And do you think demand for Bitcoin is going to go up more than 2% this year? And I certainly do think so. So if you take a step back and look at it that way, I think there is a very good chance we get a lot higher with Bitcoin this cycle. The other thing I heard him talk about was not only the digital gold being $10 trillion asset, but the $15 trillion bond market, which, now a lot of countries are going into negative yielding bonds. It's crazy. You don't make much off of them. So, obviously long term, Bitcoin has proven to be a better investment than most of everything. So yeah, we'll see what happens with everything, and we'll keep an eye on the charts. But thank you guys for listening. If you want to stick with us, we're going to continue to go through any altcoins you guys are interested in. I'll go through a lot of the big ones as well, and we'll just chart out, the long and short term of all of them. And if you like the content, please feel free to follow or subscribe on Twitch and YouTube. Give this video a like and hit the alert icon. Thank you. Hey, NZ Shan. Not sure if you're still there, but yeah, I would bet on ETH right now. Not financial advice, but I'm a lot more bullish on ETH at the moment. let me know, guys, in the chat if there's any coins you want to look at. I'm going to be going through a lot of the usual suspects to begin. And we'll start with some that are doing the best. I told you guys yesterday I was allocated to Uniswap token. And I told you that because in 2 weeks the ICO, or not the ICO, in 2 weeks version 3 is going to be coming out on Uniswap. And I know the high fees problem is not going to be totally solved yet, but that hopefully will be solved within a couple more months. And just the liquidity pool tools that they're adding, concentrated liquidity and like liquidity ranges, or price ranges you can pick, I think are going to pull a lot of people who like to do that back to Uniswap if they had left for the time being, because Uniswap's still doing a crazy amount of volume every day, so it's not that it's not like it's a dead project. And on the short term, we had I told you guys I was in this for the past couple days, and then today we get a 12%. I think it got up to like almost 15% at the peak here, and we did get rejected on the previous all-time highs from back in March. So those levels there, we did get rejected there. But we didn't fall down that much yet. We'll see if we can kind of, possibly have a bear flag here and then move up more. And with the anticipation, I feel like a lot of traders are going to start accumulating a little bit, anticipating a possible pump when we get really close to version 3 coming out, which is May 4th. So that's why I'm in this. So yeah, again, very optimistic on Uniswap. And if we look at the Bitcoin comparison on Uniswap, there is, back here in the summer, we hit basically our all-time high, and kind of looking not so much at the peak here, but more at this is on, let me go to the daily here. There we go, that's a little easier. Kind of where the following day opened, and that's exactly where we peaked at last time. And I just think now we're coming up again. If we can break this all-time high again, I think we basically had a lot of consolidation here, on a macro scale that could break up pretty well. So we'll see what happens, but yeah, I'm very bullish on Uniswap. The Bitcoin pairing looks really good, and the dollar pairing also looks very good. It had a big move in February, and it being part of the DeFi space, I think a lot of the DeFi coins are going to start moving. So we'll see what happens, but yeah, Uniswap I am very bullish on. And the other coin I've been talking about a lot is Aave, again part of a big DeFi play. And again, I've been talking about Aave every day You guys probably get tired of me talking about Aave, but it is one of my bigger bags. And today, like basically, it touched the bottom of this fib level here and shot right up to the top of it. So consolidating again here, we'll see if it can eventually break up through there. It is kind of struggling a bit, but with Aave, I think, when it does finally break up above these, it tends to shoot up eventually right up to the next one after making support on it. So I'm hoping it can climb these ladders, and I do think the DeFi space is going to get another big push here. So, I am optimistic and pretty bullish that Aave will be able to get up and make new all-time highs here eventually. And if we look at the Bitcoin pairing as well, this looks pretty good in my opinion. Obviously it dipped a lot with the Bitcoin dump, but, climbing back up, trying to get back up to those, that trend change again. And I think this is forming, it has flattened out a lot from the decline. And now the next move is up, reversing that, making a big U here. So that's what I'm hoping for with Aave. I think the charts look really good on both calls. Let's see, Band Protocol also having a nice day today. Pretty good day today. A lot of coins are pumping. So this is the Band Bitcoin. So kind of the same thing here. Flattening out a lot, starting to make higher lows here. So yeah, I would expect Band to kind of ride Chainlink's tails, if being an oracle as well. If Chainlink gets a big move in the coming month, I think Band will follow and also move up pretty well. Let's see here. The graph. Let me look at Band's. Yeah, this is Band's USD chart. And you can see it. Just really bad timing for Band, because it did start to pop here and then just got taken all the way back down in a wick, at least. This would have been a very good buying opportunity, because it popped back up about 65% immediately. So yeah, and then moving here, just kind of holding previous support here. So I wouldn't be surprised if Band kept moving up as well. Let me know if there's any coins you guys want to look at. I'm just kind of going through some gainers for the day. We will talk about like Doge and Safe Moon and stuff. They're all just well, not so much Doge, but there's a lot of just basically rug pull scams that you guys have to watch out for. A lot of people investing in them even know that, but they just think they'll get out before the bottom comes in. So, but here's the graph. So this is graph and Bitcoin's chart. Same thing here as like Aave, flattening out, making a strong bottom here. And we'll see if it can kind of turn this around and move back up here. But looking good. And graphs, USD chart, not really much today. Gonna erase some of this. And you can see a lot of these charts I'm showing you guys had a big downtrend that got reversed. You know, it broke through, made support, and now is making support on those same levels even after the dip here. So I would expect these coins to start moving again, moving up if Bitcoin stays relatively neutral with no major move down. You know, going up and down a little bit seems to be helping the altcoins. So I'll keep that up. Let's see here. Let me go to some of the big ones here, like Dot USD. Yeah, Dot not really doing much since the dip here, kind of just following Bitcoin, like Bitcoin's every move, just kind of doing the exact same thing. So we'll see I've noticed a lot of the coins kind of doing this. And then eventually, if they can break where they, you know, we had the dip and then there was a recovery point, which is basically a local high for a lot of the coins. And a lot of them that have been able to get back up and break that local high have gotten back up to their original spot. So, you know, Dot not doing that yet. You know, I would be very surprised if it didn't do that sometime soon, because it's a very, you know, strong fundamental token and, you know, is due for a nice bump up. So has had a nice deal of consolidation here and looked like it was ready to go until it just got taken out. So let's see here. You guys probably want to take a look at ADA. Yeah, ADA kind of I can take this pattern off because now it's kind of it's not really there anymore. So ADA kind of the same as Dot, just following Bitcoin, like following Bitcoin's every move, not really separating itself from whatever Bitcoin's been doing. So you know, it's somewhat strange that Ethereum has been able to break away, but maybe that's also keeping these, you know, Dot and ADA from moving, because I'm sure a lot of people are jumping back into Ethereum because it's moving, and you know, when Ethereum starts to move, it has some pretty strong targets that it normally hits. So people are probably going in to at least get to those target points. So let's see here. Link. Yeah, so Link was kind of following Bitcoin, but like I said, it did break once it got past its the local high after the dip. It did have a nice move up here, but got rejected from this previous trend line, and now it's, you know, it fell pretty far back down. And my guess would be that it got this boost because Ethereum 2.0 was announced. Sorry, Chainlink 2.0 was announced. And that kind of pumped it. But once that settled down, it just kind of went back to the normal levels. but is now holding kind of above where it topped out after the crash. How's it going, Trip Sauce? All right. Well, excuse me, guys. I'm always yawning at this time. Let me get our chart here for HTR. So this is the US dollar pairing. We have these fib levels. Yeah, I'm not going to say, let me go to the hourly here. You know, if you take a look back here, you've now, you know, I'm not going to say I'm bearish on this. You have, you know, you made support there, or that was your bottom, and now you have made another support right around that level, pretty close enough where I'd call that like a double bottom. It is possible you come back down to exactly where this is, the $1.16. But you know, especially with what's happened with Bitcoin, like, you know, if you take a step back and don't look so close at what's happening on the daily, but look at this range here. So remember, you had this nice move up, and then you kind of ranged around here before your next move up. So, you know, normally if you're, sorry about that. Normally with these coins, if you were going to go down further, it probably would have happened by now. Because now you've been in this range for over a month. So it's, you know, and with everything happening with Bitcoin, you know, coming down and hitting these might not have happened if the market didn't kind of crash there for a second. So honestly, I would be surprised. Oh, excuse me, guys. If you fell below this. So what I would say, you know, not financial advice, but if I was holding a lot of this, I would put a stop loss probably around like $1.15, $1.14. Because if you do lose this level, there's a good chance you fall, you know, closer, probably to $1. You can see right at $1 is where, right before you broke up here, and its previous high was $1, you know, here. So, so yeah, I mean, I know that's still a decent amount drop down to 115, but I'm not totally convinced you're going down there. You're pretty much holding this 0.236 fib level here, which you held here and a little bit here. So, you know, if you can stay above there, you'll probably start another move up here. So it's definitely not. Yeah, there's a lot of mixed feelings about Bitcoin. I am more bullish than I am bearish on the short term right now. If it does go down, I would say 48,000 would be the lowest. I see it going down now, you know, as but I don't really think that's going to happen. I'm more on the side of we'll slowly keep grinding up in the time being. So we'll probably, if we take a look here, you can see we're making lower highs and higher lows. So we're forming this triangle. We'll probably stay in here for a little bit. And then when we do break, you know, it could go either way. And if we do, I think this trend line around, you know, probably around 50,000 again is going to act as support. There's a good chance. But I'm more leaning towards kind of a move like this. Let's see. You know, maybe we come down, we go up, down, and then I'm thinking we break up and just go up maybe to 58,000 and kind of start doing the same thing here. That until I'm leaning more towards something like this happening over the next month. So over the next few weeks, I mean. So we'll see, but that's kind of what my guess would be. We'll see. Here's Bitcoin dominance again. Yeah, if you guys like the content, feel free to subscribe or give me a follow. Bitcoin dominance hitting some key support lines here. But we'll see, it has not been able to stop these lower lows from happening here. This downtrend every day making a new lower low. So we'll see. It's very good for the altcoins. 50 is going to be a big move here. Here's one small cap play I've been looking at. Let's see here. The Polkadot coin has broken this downtrend. So today, this is the Ethereum pairing. So even with Ethereum going up today, it was still able to outperform Ethereum. Went up 17% on Ethereum today, and Ethereum went up 5.5%. Or no, Ethereum's up about 2.5% as of like 8 o'clock last night. So that's almost 20% So, I mean, this is the type of chart I like to see for accumulation here, because there is a lot of upside here. And even on the dollar pairing, let me pull that up here, because they don't have on TradingView, they don't have the chart there, but this is the dollar. This is a dollar chart for PMON here. So it got up to $57 a couple days after listing, and yeah, it's been in a downtrend all the way until now. So it's broken that downtrend, it seems like. So it has made a few higher highs here locally, so we'll see. But yeah, up 19% today on the dollar pairing. So that's one I'm pretty optimistic on. The other one I've told you guys about is Earn, which you guys probably have heard of, Eternity Chain, which had a big run. Let's see here. It had a big run, and now it is really flattening out here. It did have a good day yesterday. I believe it went up like 15%, dropped a little today. Oh, it's up 3% for the past 24 hours. So, but again, flattening out here. These are the types of levels I look to accumulate at. So we will see what happens with that. I could pull up the let me see here. Yeah, this is the Ethereum to Earn chart here. And yeah, it's down quite a bit, but you can see now we've made a support here, flattening out. Some supports, like 3-4 times we've touched this level, which was a previous high. So yeah, we'll see if it holds. We've definitely seem to have broken the downtrend here, I believe. Can't seem to get that on there here. Yeah, so not much of a, we kind of had a downtrend that got broken and then another one. So we'll see, but even if you expand this to the bigger points here, we've now moved out of it. So did not really get much of a pop, but yeah, we started making a higher high here and a higher low. Very, you know, you got to zoom in a lot to even see that, but Lows here, higher high, and a slightly higher low here. But that can be a decent percentage at such small levels here. So see what happens with Eternity Chain. Let's go ahead and take a look at, I want to take a look at Doge. I have not looked at the chart today. Kind of just curious. So it actually has held up somewhat okay here, but still yeah, kind of holding this. But yeah, I feel like the only way this coin's gonna move is if it, you know, goes viral again. And from my experience with watching it, it normally cools down for, you know, the last one was like April 1st. It went up slightly. And then January, that was the big one. Yeah, so January, so that's about 4 months, 3-4 months it cooled down. So we'll see. Here's 1 inch, 1 inch's dollar pairing. Actually, it looks pretty good. Been kind of consolidating between 3 and 6, well, like more like $3.50 to $6.50 for a while. But definitely seems like it's making some higher highs and higher lows here in the macro perspective. So, and with DeFi kind of heating up again, I would expect you know, 1 inch and Uniswap and Sushi to all move pretty well this month. Here's a bat.
I don't know what y'all think, but I think that's pretty.
See what the top gainers were. Pirate Chain, jeez, moving up 50% today. $1 billion market cap. Digibyte, Maker, Doge up 12% today. This is Thor chain rune. Areola. Thanks for the follow, William. No, I haven't. But I wouldn't be surprised if that's a real coin. Yeah, it's big. Speaking of that, I did want to take a look at the 1-inch USD chart here. This is 1-inch exchange. Looking like it might be ready to move back up to all-time highs again. Decentralized exchange here. I think it will go up with DeFi here. Let me know if there's any charts you guys want to take a look at.
A writer, I'm looking for somebody who brings everything to the table. You know, who brings the heart, who brings their vision, and particularly who bring their brain to the table. So that they're aware of what they're doing and they're making conscious choices.
What's up, Lee? Doge? Yeah, I was looking at Doge. Here's the chart here. I mean, it's
I don't have a lot of patience for people.
You know, I probably wouldn't even take it from that high. I would probably do this.
Okay, great. Now let's make it better. But you know, just writing from a place.
And I mean, it's possible you
where you're just grateful for any idea that comes along.
You know, come up again to these levels, but honestly, Lee, I don't really know if it's gonna have the viral support needed to do that. And even if you did, most likely that would create kind of a really big like head and shoulders if you do come up to these levels, at least on like the closing candles for the 4 hour. So you know, it's possible, but honestly I don't really see another leg up at this point. That's, you know, obviously I've been proven wrong on it, so it's possible. I just think the hype has really diminished since it on Doge Day it went down 30%. So you know, I don't really see it pumping anytime soon. I was saying like back in January, yeah, we could take a look at Dent. This was when Elon Musk first tweeted. Yeah, like it had an 800% move here. And it took basically 3 more months to get another enormous move like that. So yeah, so you know, I really don't even see it getting up to here, to be honest. You could even, you know, it does kind of have like a very short term 4 hour, you know, this is just from today pretty much, but if you put that on the hourly, you'd probably see that a little better. I don't know. I mean, this is this hour, so that doesn't really add up. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. But I just think the hype is gone, and to go up that many billions of dollars, you're gonna need maybe a little cool down period. And if this does break this support, this is a straight line down, so maybe you get support at 22 cents, but if it does slowly die down here, it's probably gonna fall back down to like 15 cents eventually, possibly. Let's see here. You want to check out Dent. So Dent is still in a pretty steep downtrend here. Yeah, it's gonna have to at least break this before you know, it has found support on the 618 here, the 0.618 fib level. So if it can kind of keep holding support here, break this downtrend, you know, you might get up there. But it is possible you keep heading down to the 786 first. But the 618 is a big support because it was right before it had this big pump here. So it's definitely gonna, I would be patient on Dent. If it stays above the 618, then you're looking at like a few more days. April 25th, it needs to at least choose either if it's going down or up here. What's up, man? What's up, 21? What do you want to check out today? Yeah, I mean, my understanding of scalping is like when there's a big move down, basically you try to buy where you think the bottom's going to be. Like for instance, like with this big Bitcoin drop here, I'll take the band. This is band protocol. That's the Bitcoin pairing. Here's the dollar pairing. So you can see when this is a 1 hour candle. So when it dropped, it went all the way down to about $11. So if you could scalp a trade here, and within, you know, minutes, you could have made, you know, 50 to 60% on that trade. Now that's, you know, that's a big, that doesn't happen that often. Now you're talking about from, I believe what you mean by scalping, you know, on like a daily time frame would be like if we were looking at the Bitcoin chart here. Let me pull it up again. So we have this bigger trend here that's forming, and so you could, you know, you wait till it gets down here and you could buy, but that's not really, you know, those are longer term. So, but within, how's it going? How's it going, Joe? If you went to like the 5-minute chart, there's going to be a lot of these patterns within, you know, within these smaller time frames. So, you know, if I zoom out here, you see the bigger pattern that I'm looking at. But if you zoom in here, you know, you would have had a downtrend here. You see my downtrend? So you could have scalped the trade once it broke here. So you know it's not going to be a big move because it's just a 5-minute chart. And you could even go to the minute chart to see it a little more clearly, maybe. Let me see. Yeah, so you know, this is the minute chart. So as soon as it breaks this this line of support, you'd probably have to do like a market buy, so it just buys it like very quickly, and then you make, let's see what the percentage would have been. So like 0.5% on this one little wick here, and on the minute when you see it kind of rounding, as soon as the price starts to slow down, maybe you sell. So maybe you only make a quarter, 0.25 to 0.5%. But, it's basically like extreme day trading. I'm not always, I don't really recommend a lot of this, so because if something moves the wrong way fast, you could lose more than 0.5%. So does that make sense? 21. Hey Joe, we'll look at Chainlink, no problem. So if you trade with small around, aren't most of my profits going for converting taxes and stuff? Honestly, I'm not totally, I don't have all the answers on the tax stuff there. I'm not sure what the tax, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not sure like what the tax implications would be on doing this. So you'd have to look that up. I'm not really sure. I do understand what you're saying, like every time you trade. I'm not sure if those are the exact rules. So I would look that up. But yeah, that would be the basic premise of doing, scalping trades. Let's take a look at Link for Zhao there. Yeah, Zhao, so I think Link is at a good spot. If we take a step back, I can actually delete that. Delete that. Delete that. This one. Link, had the big dip here with Bitcoin. And I'm just zoomed out here because I want you to look at this 36.9 or $36.93. That was your high back in February, okay? And then you got above that, made support, and then went up and made higher highs. It was just kind of really bad timing, I feel like, for Link. because you know, right when you got above this trend here and made support on it, the Bitcoin drop happened. So that brought you all the way back down here. You wicked back up, and then you kind of had to start from your last fib level here. I believe it's a 786. So you know, you did have a good day. I think this big pump all the way back up here, and you could see I kept this trend line in the drawing here because you actually got rejected there. You know, it might just be a rejection from these previous highs here. So I'm actually gonna erase that. It kind of just lined up perfectly, but yeah, most likely you got rejected here because of these other resistance levels. So but this pump was probably partly because of the Ethereum or the Chainlink 2.0 announcement. Helped it get up this high, because you could see once that news kind of settled down, you pretty much went all the way back down. And I've seen this happen a lot with like announcements like that. It happened with Uniswap version 3, and I've seen it in the past a lot too. So but now you're back above, this is the important part, you're back above the previous highs from back in February, and your, you know, final Fibonacci level here, and you know, you keep kind of wicking below it, but you know, currently you're above it. It's, you know, the last few hours you've been making support on it. So you know, as long as Bitcoin does not go down significantly, if it stays, I'm going to jump to Bitcoin real quick. If it stays in this pattern, I think you'll probably stay above with Link, because I think Link is due to pump here. And if Bitcoin stays in here, I think Bitcoin dominance is going to keep falling, and the alts will keep gaining. So unless Bitcoin breaks down out of here, you know, if you stay in here or move up, I think Chainlink keeps moving up. If you break down, then you know, most of the market's probably going to come down with Bitcoin. So my thinking, you know, not financial advice, but I think we will probably move up once we break out of this pattern. I think it's more probable we break up than down. But that's just based on like the fundamentals, and you know, how, you know, more and more people are coming into Bitcoin. So but yeah, going back to Link really quick, you know, Venmo just announced now you can send people Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin through Venmo. It's like 77 million users. That's pretty good. So yeah, you want to hold this, make it support again, and then you could get another bounce like we had here. And then, you know, your resistance level is going to be 42 again, and then all-time highs of $44.30. So I hope that helps. How much crypto do I hold? I mean, I hold a decent amount, I'd say. Like 90% of my money is in crypto. So, but it's not, you know, not that crazy. Just, you know, a few Bitcoin worth, I would say. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's necessary. I never signed up for any course, you know, and I don't know everything. You know, maybe if it was like an in-person course where you had like a teacher like talking to you the whole time, like being able to like really help you with any questions you had. But yeah, I don't know if that's quite worth it. There's so much online for free, so I would start with the free stuff, and if you aren't learning everything you want, you know, then maybe you know, do some, you know, pay for something. But I would definitely learn as much as you could for free. So there's so many things out there. Yeah, let's take a look at ADA. My largest hold right now is Ethereum. Basically, my biggest bags right now are Ethereum, Aave, and Uniswap. I don't hold much Bitcoin right now because of the Bitcoin dominance continues to drop, and basically over the next month, maybe 2 months, I think it's possible if we break 50%, I think it's very possible we go down to 40% Bitcoin dominance. I think that is very possible. So we'll see. It you know, even if it's like 45%, but even going down to 50, you know, which I think is very probable. The other coins are going to gain on Bitcoin. Yeah, I won't be getting a Lambo. Believe it or not, I have 3 boys. My wife and I have 3 boys. One age 1, 3, and 5. So, if anything, I'll get a nice big SUV. So. Yeah, I know Ada did a deal with one of the big cities in Africa. So, yeah, I talked about Ada. See, Ada kind of had the same scenario as Chainlink, like we saw. You know, not quite. It didn't quite make support on its all-time high. It did get up there past it, but it didn't really make support and continue up. So it kind of got rejected again. But it was staying up above this last fib level, the 786. And then Bitcoin drop happened. So if you picked up like down here, that's probably going to work out well for you. You just might have to be patient. And Ada's really like, if you look at the Bitcoin chart, it's kind of following Bitcoin very closely. So it's kind of moving. Yeah, like Bitcoin's down 2.9% and the Ada's down 2.45% today. So it just seems to be moving right along with Bitcoin. So I don't know, you know, I would say whatever Bitcoin does, Ada's probably going to follow for the time being. If Ada can get a move and get past this I've noticed with a lot of the coins, after the big Bitcoin drop here, we had like an initial pump the next day, making like a local high here. And a lot of the coins that have managed to get past this high have gotten up closer to where they were before, had a nice pump after that. So I hope that makes sense. And maybe, you know, if something gets announced big next week, that could definitely pump it. Let's see here. What do I think about ADA long term? Yeah, I think ADA is going to do well long term. I think a lot of these alts, you know, ADA, of course, has done really well this year already. I believe it's done better than, you know, just from the beginning of the year, better than Bitcoin, Ethereum, DOT. I think it's done pretty much the best so far as in terms of multiples. But yeah, I mean, it has been able to hold the dollar mark really well, and I think it's just a matter of time before it, you know, breaks up again. As long as we stay in a bull market, which I think is the case, then I think for the next, you know, 4 to 6 months, most of the top coins are going to do very well. A lot of money coming into this space. But I do think Ethereum will come out as the king of smart contract blockchains. Yeah, like fundamentally, I think ADA's good. I don't think it, you know, they talk about how it still doesn't even have smart contracts deployment yet. So that needs to come out and needs to run smoothly. I think it got pushed to like July maybe. But, you know, in like long term, in 5 years, you know, ADA, Polkadot, maybe Solana, and Ethereum, you know, they'll all have their place. They'll all probably be solidified in the community. So in crypto as a whole, and you know, a lot of industries and countries. So let's check OMI for Mr. Shrek.
It doesn't count.
So I believe you're talking about the one on Uniswap, Mr. Shrek. I believe that's what you're talking about. Having a nice day today. Seems to have been listed like a month ago. Let me know if I'm wrong on that. Yeah, Aave is one of my main holds because if you were around last summer when DeFi boomed, Aave was the king. Like, I don't think any project did better at Aave than Aave during that whole it was basically like a alt season for DeFi. I'm talking like hundred, like Aave might have done 1,000% over, you know, 3 to 4 months, I think, if it was that long. Maybe 2 to 3 months. And, you know, it did really well in February too. Like, it's still one of the top DeFi plays. BitMEX. Okay, I might have to, it's not coming up on TradingView. I'll pull it up on different chart here. But I'll pull up the Aave chart and show you kind of what I mean.
But you have to finish and you have to put it out, because otherwise you're just the guy talking about your art. You're not the guy doing it. You get better by doing it, finishing it.
Okay, so here's the OMI. So I'll make this full screen for you. Yeah, so had a nice run here and then a big move. So what I would be doing in this scenario is looking at a fib, basically from the bottom, there we go, to the top here. I believe that's right. Oh, wait a second. This is the 5 minute. Hold on a second. Let me go to the 4 hour. Sorry. That's better. Okay, so this is the 4 hour chart, and yeah, OMI taking a kind of a beating here. It's not looking very good, Mr. Shrek. Yeah, so from my initial like thinking here, you know, you came up and had a nice retracement. You know, this could have been a really nice consolidation zone for you. But then you got up higher, but we're not able to get up to that all-time high. And then, you know, came back down a little bit, made a higher low here, and then you got up here and still were not able to get up to that higher high. And honestly, I don't know why. I'm not too familiar with OMI, but you know, it just got rejected really hard, and came down to that same support level, which you just been hitting and hitting, which normally this normally looks like it would have held, but when Bitcoin dropped, it brought you below it. So now you've been fighting, you know, to get back up, and finally, you know, the lower cap alts had pretty tough time with Bitcoin dropping, and now you've gotten above it, and you know, it looks like, you know, maybe you'll be able to close above, if you could close like a daily candle above this support here, basically right around where it's at, you know, a little lower actually, you could go, but where it's at would be a good spot to close, to kind of start this move again. But But yeah, there's no, you know, there's no clear sign here that it's gonna keep going up. At 0.58. Oh, well, if you got in there, that's, yeah, I mean, yeah, I doubt, like, I think coming below this level was due to Bitcoin crashing. So if Bitcoin goes down more, or has like a big couple $1,000 drop again, maybe, you know, you'll probably come back down to at least this level. But if Bitcoin stays sideways or gradually goes up, you know, I think this, where you're at right now, it could start making support on there and, you know, continuing going up. You do have some decent resistance around like 94, you know, 0.009495. So, but besides that level, there isn't too much resistance. Hey Maverick, Doge to the moon. Yeah, I might consider taking a position in Doge in a couple months if it cools down a lot. And just wait, I'll just hold it. If it flattens out after a couple months, like down a ways, then I'll hold it until the next freak out happens. VET, yeah, I like VET, but it's just not the type of chart I look for because it's already gone up an extreme amount. So you know, to get back to why I'm in Aave, this is the Aave chart here. So it's now, you know, even with the Bitcoin drop, it held this support here. That's a bad so now we've had pretty much a triple bottom at this level, and before the drop it was on a nice rally, and then the drop, you know, happened. Bad timing again, but I don't think it will be too long before it starts climbing this ladder again. It's had a nice move, and then if we look back, I don't know if, let me see the daily. Yeah, for some reason this chart doesn't have the summer on here. I wanted to show you that. I could pull up a different one maybe. But yeah, I'm just fairly confident that eventually Aave will make a new all-time high. It's a good spot for people to make, like, it's a good DeFi application for lending and for making interest APY on. So yeah, and they just made a lot of big partnerships in the summer, and there's like real world application to it. So yeah, I just am very optimistic. It has made a pretty secure bottom here, so like I accumulated more in this area, and like even today it was up like 9%, I think. But yeah, I'm just hoping it can continue moving up here. And but then if you look at the Bitcoin chart as well, that's another reason I'm pretty bullish on it. So yeah, I mean, it just has a lot of room. This was just back in February. It got up to 0.014 Satoshis. So you know, if it was to get up to that level again, it's 110% gain there. So it's not like I'm gonna make you know, I would be fine with a nice 60 to 100% gain over time on this. You know, I'm willing to be patient on it. So yeah, Mr. Shrek, I mean, that Safe Moon is it's a Ponzi scheme. There's tons of them now. They're all trying. There's like Safe Mars. There's, I think, Safe Moon Classic. It's all, you know, the first, if you get out on time, whenever that is, no one really knows, but it's going to drop. Probably, you know, the whole way eventually. So there's no real fundamentals behind any of it. It's just more like, you know, a roller coaster going up, you know, at the beginning, and you have to get off the roller coaster before it tops out. And it's kind of a guessing game, because even there was a couple last night, I was just watching people post about them on Twitter, and you know, they hadn't gone up 5,000% like Safe Moon. They went up more like 500% in a couple hours, and then they dropped. So it's like, you don't know how long they're gonna last, how high they're gonna go. So it's humongous risk. You got to be the one not holding the bag, pretty much. So it's very it's not an easy game. I'm not going to be putting money into them. I'd rather pick some winners like Polkadot. This is I've talked about this a little bit, and again, not financial advice, but I've been waiting for this to flatten out, and it finally broke this downtrend. And if you've seen the Uniswap plays, you know, the initial day they go up like crazy and drop like crazy, and then normally it's pretty steady for a while, and then there's normally a long-term, you know, a month-long, couple weeks of a downtrend until it finds a real bottom, which, you know, this probably has. It's not for sure yet, but it did break this long-term downtrend, and it's got a lot of, you know, I think it would be like a 200% move up to the top again, in terms of like the dollar pairing. This is the Ethereum pairing. So even with Ethereum pumping today, Polkadot was up like 20%, I think, at one point. So, you know, I look for these types of plays. No problem, Loves for Seasons. Thanks for watching again. But yeah, that's my opinion on, I like to wait. Another one, this is a small cap play. I think it's like 30 million, something like that. So it's not totally small, but Earn, I've been watching this one because I watched it pump like crazy during the NFT craze. And then it's come down almost the entire way, just besides this one big pump from the beginning. But it seems like it's flattening out here pretty well. So I like to accumulate at these levels and be patient, wait for the next move up. Yeah, unfortunately I use Uniswap for these two. But if you go on like CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap, let me see what exchanges they're on. Yeah, it's mainly on Uniswap. There's a couple more, but I don't even know. MXC exchange, I don't really know. But if you go on like Uniswap, or if you go on CoinGecko and search for, these, you'll find the exchanges down at the bottom of the coins page. Yeah, it's basically on Uniswap, and the reason I say unfortunately is because you're gonna pay gas fees on Uniswap, ranging from like $20 to maybe $50 just to buy it. So it depends on how much you're trading, if that's worth it to you. But it's available. The Pokemon one's available on MXC. I don't know the exchange, but it says it's got a good trust score on CoinGecko. But again, not financial advice. I don't know about it. Yeah, I could explain that. Thanks, Crypto Hunter. Yeah, if you guys like the content, feel free to give me a follow or subscribe on Twitch or YouTube. Really appreciate it. Yeah, gas prices depend on basically transaction traffic on the Ethereum blockchain, is what I'm talking about when I talk about Uniswap. When things are really going crazy, when there's tons of volume and trading and swapping going on, basically Ethereum has like a bottleneck. It can only do so many transactions at once, so the fees are higher to push through these transactions. Yeah, so when it's more crazy times, the fees are normally higher. But more recently, like a week ago, they were at like one of the lowest they've been in a while. So it still might not be that bad at this moment in time. I don't know if it went up in the past few days, but I do have to go, guys. Well, that's not bad. I mean, that's not too bad compared to what I've paid before. So, but yeah, layer 2 solutions like Polygon, Matic, which is probably, they're just killing it. They're getting so many. They just got Curve Finance. Basically, they take the transactions off the Ethereum blockchain and do them, and then put the results back on the blockchain. That's a very quick summary of what it does, but they're making it so a lot of the applications that run on the Ethereum blockchain are not having to pay these high fees. So, but yeah, guys, I gotta head out. I will be back tomorrow, 4:30 p.m. Eastern to 6:30. All right, thanks, guys. Thanks for the subscribe, Sapagiju. Can't say that right. I'm sorry, but I really appreciate it.